So here we are, Growler Garage Studios.
Hello.
With a less than festive opening, and the reason is this is the much begged for by our listeners malt liquor episode. We made just an offhanded remark. I think it was on the Lauren episode about us drinking a malt beer.
Mm-hmm.
That somebody had given to us on my 4th of July party, and we went, oh, malt beer, and then people picked up on that and ran with it from there of, well, why don't you guys do an episode of where you just drink malt liquor the whole time? And we didn't want to do it.
I'm so not looking forward to this.
It's not good. So we have 5 malt liquors in front of us, and something I learned is that malt beer and malt liquor are not the same thing. People use them interchangeably, but they're not the same.
Okay.
Malt beer is a very, very low percentage beer. So technically, like an O'Doul's is a malt beer.
No way.
Yeah, so because it's 0.5% alcohol. Did you know that?
Yeah.
That O'Doul's actually does have some alcohol.
0.5% or something like that, yeah.
So a malt liquor is a high percentage beer. A malt beer is a low percentage. It's super confusing. It's really strange. But these are not malt beers. They are beers that are malt liquors. It's super weird.
Regardless, it's not going to be fun.
It's not going to be fun. And we basically...
But we love our fans, so...
Yeah, so enough people asked us to do this that
here we are.
So what we're going to do is we have 5 of the most popular malt liquors here in front of us. No sponsorship from any of them, of course. It's just us giving you honest reviews of what we think. I've never had a malt liquor before in my life.
Neither have I.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So this will be fun. We've got my wife Kaylee over there on the ones and twos. It's the sound producer.
Hello.
There you go. That's all you'll probably
Producer
get.
Producer Kales.
Producer Kales.
DJ Kales.
So we're gonna jump into this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna tell you about these, and what we're using. We're gonna take this opportunity to have kind of an about us episode where this is producer Matt next to me wearing his sun's out, guns out tank top today.
It's 106 in the studio, so
looking way more hillbilly than I think he realizes.
That's fine.
Maybe I should go put on a tank top too.
You should.
So we're together and
we can pause. I'll do that edit.
No. Maybe. Kaylee, maybe you could run and grab me a tank top later. You pick it out, whichever one.
You want me to do it now?
Yeah,
just go ahead and do it
whatever.
now.
You know where my tank top section is.
Go ahead and cut your microphone, the volume on it.
It doesn't really matter.
That's fine.
Did she do that right? Are we sure?
She did that right.
But are we sure that this is still picking up?
Yeah, if we can hear it, it's
okay,
fine.
Cool. Yeah. You pick one out. I've got a few, so I don't think any of them are super hilarious. But we'll see. So
whatever.
What do you call it when you're when you do something for somebody out of like whatever? There's a word for it.
This is a solid conversation.
I don't remember what it's called. You do it out of I keep wanting to say sobriety. It's not sobriety. Whatever. Fuck it. Put one on.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
So anyway, so this is gonna be kind of an
solidarity.
Yeah, solidarity.
Yeah,
there it is. Cool. So I'm gonna get on a tank top for solidarity with you.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So we're going to drink these over the next few minutes here, and then we're going to talk about ourselves a little bit. We're going to say why we've done Growler Garage, how we've ended up at this point. Just whatever we have to talk about. We don't have a guest this week just because we didn't want one. Last week's episode with Joe was a little bit more on the more serious side.
That's right.
Hope you guys learned a lot with that one. It was a little less zany. And we'll see what you guys like better.
Not as many zingers in that one.
Yeah, I mean we have a multiple time Emmy winning sound effects. I mean
I went ahead and saved us all the embarrassment and cut my sound effects out of that episode.
I know he'd probably hey, I did that one. That
probably. Hey, that's one of mine.
So what should we start with? We've got so let me introduce them first. We've got the Old English here. We have Mickey's. We have Magnum. We have King Cobra. That's the Mickey's.
This is still reserved.
That's still reserved.
Green bottle.
Gosh, it's funny. The only malt liquor I really even knew of before we started researching this episode is the Mickey's, and that's just because my uncle Mickey did a T-shirt for his boat that he had.
I know Mickey's was a big time sponsor of UFC for a while.
Were they?
Yeah.
So
it's the official malt liquor of the UFC.
So my uncle had a boat that he used to go to the. Let me get the one that looks like a tuxedo shirt. Yeah. He had a.
Well, go ahead and cut the camera. Just pause the camera.
It's fine. Just keep it rolling. It's fine.
All right. Fine.
So he did he had a speedboat that he did the logos for and stuff, and he would then. He did like t-shirt stuff, so he basically ripped off the Mickey's logo and he called it Mickey's Big Mouth Racing, which was pretty cool. Entertain the kids for a second.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to say.
Good work.
I'm usually behind the camera, so I feel a little out of my element here. I'm just staring at these things in front of me and just the dread.
What we should start with.
Well, my pick was the Old English, just because I feel that's one of the most ghetto ones you could pick.
Okay, I'm back. Just like I said, I'll be back.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Captain Tank Top.
My headphones broke.
What do you mean they broke? What does that mean? Oh, rest in peace, Alpine Stars.
Well,
So actually, they were already broken, and I scotch taped them back together because, well,
there's another pair of headphones right here on the table.
let me get you
if
some
you
tape.
wanna-
Yeah, just do that. Okay, or don't. That's fucking terrible.
Solid.
I'll fix them for you later. If you want to try to tape them, you can. I don't know where the duct tape went.
Oh, that's gonna be a big old problem.
Is the wind gonna be a problem?
Yeah.
Even if I'm blocking it like such?
You're fine when you're blocking it. It's when you move.
So, the funny thing with those headphones, I used to work at Alpine Stars. The day I no longer worked there,
They broke.
they broke. Then they're like these
Of
high end,
course.
like they're made by somebody else. They're called Tank headphones, and there's another company that makes theirs called Tank, and they're just Alpine Stars branded.
We'll give Graham the shitty headphones.
Yeah. So second producer Graham just walked in, on his way to his kickball tournament. So we're gonna give him the broken Alpine Stars. Or, you know what? Just one of you wear the headphones. You don't both need them. There's only so many ports on the soundboard. I'm good. All right. So
Plus, we don't have a mic set up for him anyway.
don't. Those are still a little sweaty. Don't wear those. The Alpine Stars ones are fresh.
Oh, okay.
So
Fresh.
if you want to try to fix them, maybe Graham can fix them for you. Let Graham fix them for you.
All right.
All right. Anyways.
Let's get back to the
So all right.
looming doom in front of us.
So we've got these malt liquors. We have 5 of them. We're not going to drink all 5.
No,
of these.
we're not.
Let's just put that here.
That's
'cause
irresponsible.
It's irresponsible. It's bad. It's not good. So we're not going to do that. But you want to start with the Old English, you said? Or
Sure.
Okay.
That's the one. That was my choice.
Okay.
For because I feel it's the most ghetto.
Oh, God. When I undid it, like a puff of air came out. All right. So this is Old English brand 800 malt liquor, 40 ounces, 7.5% alcohol by volume. All right. Here we go.
All right.
Oh, my God. I'm just going to do tasters of
I
these.
think that's enough.
We're not doing full glass. I'm sorry if you guys were hoping to see us get destroyed drunk. We probably are, but it's not going to just be. Oh my God. All right. Here we go to the Old English. Oh my God. Oh God.
It's not good. I mean,
my God, dude. People drink this on purpose.
they do. They spend their money on this.
Hey Pat, we're gonna need some sort of what am I looking for?
I don't know.
Explanation of what it tastes like.
All right. Have you ever woken up with a badger on your face and it's peeing a little bit?
Yeah, badger piss. That's badger
that's
piss. Yep.
essentially what
It's
it is.
badger piss.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna drink another one just so that now that I have the initial shock and awe out
Yeah.
of my brain. You know what it is? Coors Light. Really,
It's
really
cool.
alcoholic Coors Light.
I feel like it's Coors Light, but it has something more in it, like caramel or something else in it that's like a little sweeter.
You know what? Why don't we play beer pong with these? It's no worse than for the record, I hate Coors Light, Miller Lite, and Bud Light. It just doesn't work with me. This is no worse than a Coors Light.
It's not.
And it's what's a Coors Light, like 4%?
It's like I have like 4.5.
This is 7.5, man. Like 3.
3?
Producer Graham's was 3.
3.2 then?
Do you use your Fox News fact checker?
Fox News fact checker.
What if we played beer pong with this? We'd get annihilated drunk.
Oh yeah.
Let's do it. Next
right.
time we do it. All right.
All right.
So on a scale of let's go 1 to 5. God, Jesus.
I have nothing else to compare it to, so
Okay.
I'm gonna set it at a solid 3.
All right, let's start the Old English at a 3 because
Middle of the pack.
it was shocking the first time I had it, but honestly, it's not that bad.
But yeah, like I said, I have nothing else to compare it to.
It's not the worst thing I've ever had. It's not good.
No,
It's not. But
it's really not.
But like Miller Lite is the worst beer I've ever had in my life. Like
Yes, I describe Miller Lite as penny water.
yeah.
It tastes like a glass of water that someone dropped a handful of pennies in, let it sit for about a week.
Let it like coagulate.
Yeah, get that copper.
So for the nature of this test, that's a 1. All right. So
Okay.
let's use that as our baseline. Miller Lite's a 1.
Okay, sure.
Miller Lite in a can.
What about Natty Ice? Wouldn't that be like the
I like Natty Ice more than I like Miller Lite.
Yep.
Because it's just flavorless. It's kind of like Coors. Coors is probably a 3 on this scale.
Coors, yeah. Coors. I mean, Coors is mostly water.
It's just what it is, and
Yeah.
I respect Coors Light for what it is.
exactly.
So as we're drinking our Old English, so we're gonna try these and we're gonna kind of take, we're gonna finish them. So drinking our Old English. Producer Matt, let's start by telling the fine folks listening how we met, and that was at the ripe old age of 5.
Yeah,
In first grade, so
5 or 6.
I want you to realize here that's 22 years ago.
Yes, it's a long time.
We've known each other 22 years now. So that was first grade. We went to
First
school
grade,
together.
Yeah, we went to school for what, a year together?
A
and
year.
then-
It was your first year at that school, and then the next year I left to go to a public school because my parents decided that my education wasn't worth money.
exactly.
Like, California knows what's good enough for you, all right? You ain't even gonna go to college. You don't need that private school learning. And then
That's pretty much what it was.
yeah,
But yeah, and then it ended up we lived like a quarter mile from each other.
yeah.
or
I think that's
something.
probably what hit it off. Is we probably went to Mike's birthday. I want to say we went we know each other. We were friends already. We went to Mike's birthday party
Yep.
when he turned 6, and they dropped you off at your house, and I was like, whoa, I live up the street from here.
Yep.
And then my parents and your parents talked or something, and the next thing you know, we were hanging out together. And then it kind of what began the car thing is like, obviously at that point I wasn't racing yet.
No.
I was 5 years old.
But there was always cars around at your house.
Yep.
And you guys were always into watching, NASCAR and stuff on TV, which piqued my interest too.
Yeah,
And
and we played with my diecast cars and stuff, the
yeah,
little
a lot of
164.
diecast cars.
So we did that, and then when I turned 8, I got a go-kart.
Yep.
Which was a proper racing cart, so which meant I wasn't allowed to touch it unless we went to the track, so it wasn't, it killed me. I was like, I want to drive my go-kart.
Exactly.
And to set this up for, this is important for later, I was fortunate enough that my parents had a 3/4 of an acre lot in Orange, horse property, so it had a big concrete driveway that went all the way to the backyard, so it was like probably like a 1/16 of a mile almost, like right less
It was
than that.
long.
It was,
yeah.
It was probably, I don't know, well, no, it's probably like 1,000 feet, wasn't it? Wouldn't you say?
I'd say that's a fair estimate.
So it was probably about 1,000-foot long strip. So it's not, and it wasn't smooth though. Every 20 feet there was a line of bricks. So it's concrete and then bricks every 20 feet. And there was an uphill at the very end of it. When you got to the street, it went up a steep hill. So it wasn't like you could run your car down it. It was too narrow.
Right.
You would jump it. Which leads me to when you bought your fun cart, your yard cart, as people
Yeah,
call
I
them.
got that for Christmas.
Probably when you turned about 10-ish.
No, it's closer to 8 or 9.
Okay,
I
so
think
it's
8.
probably right after I got mine. Mm-hmm. And
It was an off-road cart
right. It
that
was
we converted to street because we put slicks on it instead,
Right.
instead of knobby
you
tires.
guys somehow found slicks. I don't know how.
We went to a lawnmower shop. And yeah, my dad went to a lawnmower shop and said, "Hey, I need some slick tires for this particular size of rim," and the guy had them. So yeah, and from there, I grew up on a cul-de-sac, so
right.
it was basically my own private circle track.
Right, and that's what we did is we drove it in circles.
I would literally go out for hours
Yeah.
a day and just
In hindsight, we probably should have invested in like a cone or two, because I always noticed we always made the track shorter and tighter circles.
Yep.
So perhaps and what's the funniest thing about it is we never at any point ever timed ourselves. Like there was never a lap time established. Like, and that's the weirdest thing looking back on it now is it never got competitive.
Why didn't we do that?
Yeah, it was weird. We never got competitive for some reason. I don't know why. And we would do like driver changes and stuff.
Yep.
And then every once in a while, you were able to bring the cart over to my house.
Yes.
You either drove it over with your dad following you in the truck, or you'd load it up in the truck and bring it over. Like I think I only did it like 3 times, but with the aforementioned area we had, and it was probably, I think it was a 5.5 horsepower Tecumseh powered cart, so it moved decent.
No, it was a Briggs.
Was it a Briggs? Okay,
Yeah.
so it was a flathead.
Yep.
But 5.5 horsepower, so it moved pretty decent.
Yep. No, it was a one wheel drive. There was no live axle.
It was not a solid rear axle. The shortest chain ever with the weirdest gearing.
Oh yeah, it was like a.
It had the gears backwards, if you remember right. It had the big gear on the engine.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't.
I think so.
No, it was big gear on the wheel.
Okay.
But it was like a 5 tooth on the motor.
Right, and like an 80?
a 28 tooth on.
Right.
It was literally like almost the same diameter as the tire.
Yeah, no, it was like
So if you hit a bump too hard, you're going to bump the chain on the ground.
legitimately, it was like an 80 tooth on the rear. Like when we ran the dirt carts, it was like a 69 and then a 13 driver.
Yeah.
You had a 5 and like a, it was like the diameter, they put teeth like on the crankshaft basically.
Pretty much. But
so-
it ran pretty well. I mean,
Yeah, it got going good enough. We took it to the desert a couple times to hem it, which was super. That was the funnest thing we ever did. With
oh
it.
yeah, then broke it a couple times. Had to
finish
get it
our old English
welded.
here.
I'm done. I'm waiting for you. So bad.
Rap. It's down to a 2.
Yeah.
It's down to a 2.
I don't know. I think it might get worse.
We're moving on to the Mickeys now.
Here we go.
If you didn't notice, I just committed a cardinal sin, and I don't care. I dumped out the old English. I had like 4 sips left. Fuck that.
That's one for the homies.
Mitch, I missed it. All right, here's the Mickeys. It's in green bottle. I don't know what color it's going to be when it comes out.
It'll be the same color.
I hope not. You notice these are all exactly the same color?
They're probably the exact same beer.
God.
It's probably bottled at the same place and just a different sticker.
Oh, that's a lot. Oh, God. Yeah, all the bottles are identical, too, except for one. The King Cobra is the only one that's different.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, like literally.
Literally
the exact same.
exactly the same. The Mickey's one is green. Dude, you're right. These are all going to be the same.
Yeah.
I wonder if people already know this and they're laughing at us.
Probably. That's probably why they wanted us to do this.
Probably. Let's see. This one doesn't give you a percentage on the Mickeys.
What?
How's that legal?
It's not.
What? Milwaukee, Wisconsin. No, there's no percentage on this.
No way.
Fine malt liquor. There's no, that can't. That's not legal, right?
It's got to have a percentage.
The Fox Fact Finder.
Does it say it on the
says it's,
cap?
5.6.
The Mickey's is?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not exactly the same as the old English.
It's still going to be terrible.
It's going to get us less drunk, too, so that's even worse. So
Does it say it on the cap?
they do have one of the coolest logos, though, that little hornet. You're not going to be able to see it
Yeah.
on here, but look up the Mickey's logo. It's super cool. All right, here we go for the homies.
Cheers, buddy.
You guys want to partake back there?
That's why I brought out a cup.
Oh,
Well, why didn't you say anything?
yeah.
Our beer girl is going to come on set now.
He is
Wearing a nice
pink.
shirt. So here's some Mickey's. You guys can share a little bit of that if you want.
Oh, yeah.
You know how I am about germs.
You know what? It's...
Don't spoil it. Hold on.
All right.
Do you want to go get a cup?
It's exactly the same.
Yeah,
It's exactly the
it
same.
really is. It's...
How's that taste to you, producer Kaylee?
It's fine.
It's fine. Her ideal beer is a Dos Equis lager, by the way.
I don't
True.
know. There you go.
Okay.
Well, I'm super underwhelmed.
You know, I kind of get it with these. They don't really have any flavor,
It
And-
has
and they
like
get you-
one objective.
and they get you piss ass drunk.
Yeah, that's the objective.
The Mickey's I'm gonna say is better than the old English.
It has less...
It's like a thicker Coors Light.
It's less badgery.
Yeah. No, you know the old English I feel like is a little bit more on the Miller side where it has that sour taste a little bit. The Mickey's is just nothing.
I wonder if that's because of the green bottle.
Might be. You know what? It might be less skunked.
Yeah.
All right, Old English a 2. For me, Mickey's is a 3. It's right on par with Coors Light.
I'll agree with that.
Okay.
I'll concur.
All right, so we're at that. So we had the go
I
kart.
still can't believe we're doing this.
So we had the go kart. We take it to my house, and that little embankment I was telling them about at the very end.
Oh, yeah.
We learned that if you turned right at the last minute, it was steeper, and you could jump the cart off.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And then you would land in my grass.
Yep, and the cart did not have suspension.
Right.
It was, just,
It was all your ass.
yep, just frame.
And then what we also learned is that the grass was slippery enough with the one-wheel drive that you could do donuts in it.
Yes, you could. We turned the sprinklers on for about 5 minutes and then just tore it up.
Once, and then my mom saw us doing it. My mom goes, "You're gonna ruin the grass," which was true, but it was worth it. Like, it was bad to the bone. Like,
It needed to be done. I mean,
this was probably in 1998, and the reason I remember this is because I remember specifically going into the grass. I kind of knew what a donut was. I didn't know the name for it, but I just found another power outlet in my garage behind the Ferrari flag.
there you go.
Oh, sweet. All right. So that I remember this because I remember sliding through the grass and doing a donut because that's what I saw Dale Earnhardt do that year when he
Right.
won the 500. Finally, so that was 98. So that's the only reason I remember that's when we were doing this. So that's funny. So we were 10
learned
then.
about the donut.
Right, because Alex Zanardi and Cart had been doing it for a little while, but it was, asphalt, smoke and cool, whatever. But then the one in the grass, I was like, whoa.
Oh, I can do this. I can
I
do
can-
this
my go-getter,
in my front yard.
So that was the extent kind of that. I mean, you got to drive my go-kart a couple times at Rialto where we used to race.
Yeah,
At the end of the day.
after the races were over, they did little hot laps for.
Yeah. They just opened it up to whoever wanted to go out. It was, you'd never really get away with that now.
Oh,
Because they
no,
had like
never.
kids out there at the same time as adults, and it was like,
Yeah, I legitimately remember my dad and I both going out on track at the same time.
yeah.
My dad went out in your brother's cart, and because he was probably 16 at the time.
Yeah, he was pretty much full grown. And I remember you going around the first time, and we were standing in the infield watching you go around in circles. And then whenever you wanted to, you'd come into us in the center of the track. It's an oval track.
Were you in the infield?
Yep,
Okay.
completely sure.
Huh.
And you wouldn't be able to do that now. It's cones.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely not.
There was nothing. There was no
cones
wall.
and hay bales.
Yeah, the hay bales on the outside, only in the one corner.
It was set up at an airport. Yeah.
Rialto Airport. And if you went off in turn 1 and 2, you went into the dirt and rocks.
Yep.
If you went off in 3
My
and
dad
4,
did it.
if you went off in 3 and 4, you'd go into the hay bales, which I did a
Mm-hmm.
couple times where I flat it up against the hay bales, and it hurt. Like there's no.
Oh, yeah.
Hay bales ain't soft.
No.
And then they had a little catch fence over it, which was funny.
That was a lot of fun. I remember being, on the crew for your
Right.
cart.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, 7,
Like 7, yeah.
when I knew everything about working on motors.
Right. So we did that for a few years, and then it was largely that. And then I got the mini stock, which was kind of a half car, half go kart thing.
Yeah, I went to a couple of races with you for the mini stock. I
Yeah.
remember we went to
Went to El Cajon.
El Cajon. I went with you 4 or 5 times with that.
Yep. It was El Cajon and Orange Show, the only places we raced at with that. We weren't allowed to go to Irwindale.
Yeah,
they
I
had
didn't
an
ever
issue.
make it to an orange show race with you guys in the mini stocks. It was only El Cajon.
That's good. Then you only went to the track I won at. Because I dominated El Cajon.
I do remember, I think this was right when you guys got out of mini stocks too, is your brother had like a bad wreck where he jacked his leg up or
Yeah,
something.
so
his ankle or foot or
So
something.
we ran another year after that, but my brother quit after that for whatever reason. So it became the car became specific to me as we shared a car. And we basically would bolt my seat
God, I
into
remember
his
that.
seat.
And
Yeah.
it was just crunch time between races.
Yeah, it was hard. It was only a couple hours between, and it was really tough. We had to move the pedals. We had to move the seat. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
he wasn't in like a different class, was he?
He was. I
So
ran
it's
in the-
different. Was it the power different? So did we have to do
No.
anything with the motor?
A little bit. So what it was I ran in the afternoon, and the kids ran in the afternoon before the crowd got there and everything. And then we had to be done by like noon or something. So it was the morning, I guess. And then practice started usually at like 3 o'clock for my brother in the adult class. So we had to take the restrictor plate out.
That's right. It was a restrictor plate.
We had to, we didn't have to bolt any lead on because his class was 30 pounds heavier than mine, but he was 30 pounds heavier than me. So we had to take lead out of it, actually. Take lead out. We had to redo the entire setup because the weight was different.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and
super
his-
time difference.
And his driving style was different. We ran my car really soft because I'm light and all that. We ran his pretty stiff. So seat had to change.
pedal position,
Everything. The whole car. Body off. Just getting after it. My dad was really it. My dad and my brother worked on it.
Yep.
And
We worked on it.
yeah. My brother knocked the wall down at El Cajon one time. And those were small cars.
They're little. I mean,
They're a 1/3 size NASCAR Cup car with about 20 horsepower ish. But they had 7-inch wide slicks. So you didn't lift.
no, yeah.
Corner speeds were higher in that than in a super late model. So my brother had a flat or something go wrong, and he just destroyed the wall and exit of turn
No, I think
2.
somebody spun him.
Maybe, but
I want to say somebody hit him.
he went right front into the wall, and there's no crumple zones, so messed up his leg a little bit, and he decided to not race. So the next year became committed to me, and we dominated the next year. We won every race at El Cajon,
Yep.
and I was
I remember that, and then they closed the track.
yeah, and I was second or third at every race at Orange Show, and just walked with the title like pretty far. But then we got out of it, and then we got into car racing, and
Yeah,
From
what was it? The Mustang.
yeah, then we got the
Class.
Mustang next. So I took a year off from driving, and then
to build the Mustang.
Because we drove that car home as an SVO, an 84 SVO Mustang with a turbo 2.3 liter, the Lima engine, 5-speed, everything, adjustable conies. Like the way the rule book was written, we fucked them. Like they did not intend for that car to race. It was the rules for that class must be a stock 4-cylinder car as produced. You can strip everything out of it, and you can, put the spec tire on,
the safety specs,
roll cage and seats and all that stuff. We fucked them big time because we showed up with this turbo-powered car to the first one, and
was it turbo?
It was turbo originally. They made us take the turbo off. They changed the rules mid-season because of us. I went, fine. And we read that rule book down to the nitty-gritty. We had adjustable shocks because they came with adjustable conies. Nobody else had that. We had we had posi, which most other teams didn't have because most cars don't come with posi. And I mean, the car was badass. It destroyed everybody. But
how old are we? Were what? 12?
I was 14. I was 14.
14.
Yeah, I built it when I was 13. We raced it when I was 14 years old, driving against these guys, and that's why we didn't do better. Was they had inverted starts in that, and we whooped their ass.
Right, that's right.
And we'd start in the back, and the dudes would low line, and when I'd get underneath them anyways, or try to go on the outside, and they'd stuff me. And it was these old crotchety old men who were driving their Preludes and their Civics and their Probes and shit, and they just weren't having any of it.
Yep.
And eventually,
I remember there was like fights.
Yeah,
there was all kinds of.
That's the series that I learned. Well, it's not a series that I learned to drive aggressively, but it's really where I had to step it up and stop giving a single shit. At 14 years old, I had to take these dudes out if they're blocking me, and that's where I learned to do it. The mini stock I didn't really take anybody out, but I was pretty tough. I was pretty aggressive in that, where I eventually painted my car black because there were too many tire marks on it from the cars, and people kept calling me Dale. So we embraced it, and we went black with the car. And I never took somebody out in the mini stock. I spun somebody out one time because he kept brake checking me into the corner, and I dumped him. On the start, he was driving in on the outside in second, so he's outside row one, and he kept stopping in turn one, and
Was that like the full-blown race team that came from Mexico?
No, they were good. That was the Sanchez's. They were good. I never had an issue with him. We raced hard, but we raced clean.
I remember they would bring like a full-blown like...
a Featherlight trailer, yeah.
Featherlight race trailer.
Yeah, they were... they had 2 kids that were racing, and they had 2 cars for each of them.
Yep.
Depending on the day, they would run each car in practice, and whichever one was running faster, they'd run that car that day.
Yep.
So they had 4 total cars, and then they'd have a Featherlight trailer, which if you don't know, a Featherlight's the big 18-wheeler. They run like NASCAR Cup cars.
Yeah.
They had an ex-Adrian Fernandez Indy Lights trailer, and they would just come out, and
I remember you hated them.
Sort of. I hated what they had, and they hated what they were doing, but I liked them as a family. They were cool people. But I was like, this is unnecessary, and
this is like a little podunk racing series, and you have a $300,000 rig to show up.
They were committed towards making their kids go somewhere. And, they cleaned up, like they was like a 3-time defending champion when I showed up.
Right.
My first race ever, it wasn't even my own car. I got in somebody else's car, and I was battling him for the lead on the outside, just taking it to him. I was gonna win my first race, and then I tossed the chain with 3 to go. But then that's when, after the race, people were like, what in the hell? Like, nobody knew who I was. I was wearing a go-kart suit and a go-kart helmet, and I was like, same thing as a go-kart. Whatever.
Burst racing.
Yeah, if that thing caught on fire, just whatever. But long story short, that we took it to him the next year. That
was a lot of fun.
My dad.
I had a lot of fun going with you guys to those races. That's like actually some of my fondest memories from my childhood are with you guys, because there was a lot of late nights in your guys' garage prepping that car. I remember the night before your first race in the Mustang.
Yeah,
we were up till 3:30 in the morning because we were still doing the fire extinguisher lines.
Yep.
Like, it was down to the wire to work on that car.
That's what people don't know about short track racing in general, and especially short track racing, is it's just, you don't have a life outside of it.
Nope.
Which brings us directly to the speed truck.
Oh, the speed truck. I didn't have actually any involvement with you in the speed truck. I think at that point you guys had the crew of Mike's buddies and stuff like that.
We started actually having a team at that point. And
and I mean, at that point we were in high school, and
my brother was graduated, his friends were graduated,
and I had a job outside of school, so I didn't have a ton.
Did you never go to a speed truck race?
Not one.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, the speed truck.
I remember helping you guys tinker on it at your house a couple times, but other than that, I never made it to a race.
Okay. Ugh, Mickey's is still a 3, but fucking barely. Let's move on to the Magnum here. Oh, this is made by Miller. Okay.
Well, there's hope.
Miller Lite's my most hated beer in the world.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's hope that it's terrible.
Here we go. Kaylee, you want some Magnum?
Sure.
See what you did there.
Ah.
Thanks for giving. It's all foam. All foam.
You're welcome.
Every time. Every time.
Need some, have some more.
That's too much.
Thanks, beer girl.
So, we got to the speed truck, and that's when shit got real. Man,
Oh, yeah.
The speed truck was...
I remember hearing stories.
The speed truck's brutal. Just brutal. Like, we got it when I was 15.
I think you guys might have bitten off a little more than you could chew financially.
Probably.
Because, I mean, that's
Here's what happened.
semi-big leagues.
I'll be totally honest, and we're gonna try this Magnum first, and
I'm still waiting for it to foam down.
all right.
So,
I'm gonna talk about the speed truck a lot more candidly than I've probably ever talked about it before, because it's not the fault of the series, nor the other drivers or teams or anything about how that went,
well,
but
it's gone wrong.
fuck. What have you done?
I don't know.
Matt just spilled beer everywhere.
It's one for the homies.
I had paper towels. I don't know where they went.
No.
Did they? Oh, they fell behind the air compressor.
Oh. Well, it's on my hand. Oh, well.
I would say entertain the kids, but we already proved you don't know how to do that.
Yeah, well.
I've tasted this already. It's a little flat.
Look at this cube of ice.
It's going to fall apart. I told you.
Here you go.
Thanks. Well, now that the wheels have completely fallen off the train.
Let's try this Magnum. Actually, I don't even know what time we started this. We could be 2 hours into this, and I don't even know. Whatever. This is going to go as long as it's going to go.
That's atrocious.
You know what? I don't hate it.
Really?
I don't hate it.
I don't know. I feel this is the worst out of the three.
Really?
Yeah. It just has a taste to it. I don't know. I can't put it has a Miller taste. It's the pennies are coming through on it.
This is the leftover, I think, on the Miller High Life. I think they're probably Miller High Life.
Bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, they scrape it.
Yeah. They get a big squeegee inside the tank. Squeegee the walls off, and then they put it into a 40.
Beer Girl brought us some paper towels.
Thanks, beer girl.
Thanks, Beer Girl. We're going to be on his kickball team next year, and it's going to be real bad.
The fact that you have a kickball team.
I see what you're talking about. This has a yeasty flavor.
It does. It really does.
This beer definitely has a yeast infection.
Beer Girl's gonna get me some Old English.
Yeah, go for it.
You want more Old English?
She didn't get to try the Old English.
Oh, okay. So
She already finished her Magnum, so.
So speech. All right, there's a trash can literally behind me.
Yeah.
So,
Speed truck.
So we got the speed truck. For those of you who don't know, I was trying to make a career as a driver. And I
Yes, you
kicked
were.
everybody's ass and everything I did growing up. And I got to the speed truck and proceeded to kick some ass in the first race. Like, legitimately, we did fucking good our first race. We went out, a couple days of testing out at Mesa Marin out in Bakersfield. Really did well. Qualified in the top 10, did a really good job. We were running fourth in our first race when there was some debris in turn 3 that my spotter didn't see. And my brother, who was in the pit lane, was yelling at speed truck officials, throw a caution, there's a giant hunk of sheet metal in turn 3. Throw a caution. I had no idea it was there. It was there for a couple laps, and it was really close
How
to
did
the
no
line.
one notice it?
They saw it, they just didn't care. They didn't think it was a big deal, I guess.
Solid.
So I ended up just tagging with my right front, and it was an instant right front puncture.
Yep.
In turn 3 at Mesa Marin, we were doing about 110 in the speed trucks, and you lose in a circle track car. When you lose the right front, you lose everything.
Yep.
You have no
You're
steering,
done.
you have
You're
no
toast.
brakes, and
That's the wheel that does all the work in a circle track.
And we just knocked down. I mean, we narrowed the truck up by like 4 inches in the front. It moved the whole front clip over.
Wow.
It was a fairly big hit. So
Were you injured at all?
No, I was fine in that one. That was actually probably the softest of the speed truck wrecks I had. Tried to keep going, but the engine had separated from the transmission.
It's a small problem.
Yeah, so it was just tearing up the input shaft and everything. And it was bad. But we ended up having to miss some races while we fixed it. You know, it was my dad and I. We had to strip the whole truck down.
Yeah, it's not like you guys had, a shop and a professional team.
No, literally, it was in our backyard.
It was literally in the backyard.
Yeah, so we took
like under an easy up, or you would back it out of the trailer, work on it, and then push it back into the trailer.
Yeah. So we had to take everything, strip the whole truck down to the bare chassis, and then we'd take it to a chassis shop where they would clip the front end, literally cut the front end of the truck off, and then build a new front end onto it. And that's the only way you can fix a bent chassis like that.
Yeah, because it's full tube. So
yep. So we put it back together, and it wasn't the same. The truck wasn't right, and we kept chasing it. We eventually hired a guy that I'm debating on if I'm going to mention his name. I guess I won't. He's a piece of shit. All right.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was a crew chief for another team. That team did okay. They did pretty good. They won a race, and he was offering his services to us, which is fine. No problem there. But he oversold his abilities, and he worked at the shop that sold all the parts. It was where you had to buy parts for the shop. So I don't know specifically, and this is all alleged because I don't know for sure, but I fucking know because believe me, I don't have any proof that I could show you or anything, but I know.
It's just one of those things that
he was double charging us for stuff.
Oh wow.
He would get us stuff we didn't need, and if we didn't want it, he would take it back and not refund us. And it was this elaborate thing where everything was being billed to him, and then he would bill the shop. So we didn't have a breakdown part by part of it.
So extortion.
Yeah, basically. So he would basically just run our bill up as high as he could and then pocket all of the leftovers.
You couldn't go to the shop?
We did.
Directly?
We'd buy stuff directly, but he worked there, so we'd be like, oh, we need a new shock, bring it home with you. Bring it to the shop with you. Because he'd be at the shop almost every night working on the truck. And he worked hard, and I think he was a generally decent crew chief, but he misunderstood how a chassis works, which fine, whatever, that's on us. But the double charging of the money, he basically milked us dry.
Right.
And the truck just handled worse and worse and worse and worse, and we had a bad run of about a year where we could not make that truck work, and we were running back of the pack, just race in, race out, just back of the pack.
Wow.
And it was frustrating. So finally, we fired him, and we went, we got to get out of this. About the same time my dad got cancer of the throat, and it was like, we don't need to be doing this anymore. So we needed to race the truck in order to sell it. So it was, here's what we've got. This is all we've got. We're running the truck until it sells. We are not buying any parts. Don't break anything unless we've got a spare.
So just drive it.
No tires.
Baby the crap out of it.
All you're doing is buying fuel.
Just
fuel and entry
laps.
fees.
Just turning laps.
So we went to Orange Show and promptly put it P1 on practice by half a second. Which,
because of course when you're going to sell the truck, it starts performing.
And at Orange Show had like a 13-second lap time. Like we were running in the 12s or whatever it was, and nobody was in the fucking ballpark.
Wow.
Like it was retarded.
But I mean, that's kind of like, I hate to say it, but like your home track too.
It is. What happened was we threw all of his suspension work out the window, and we went back to our old stuff. Okay. We got rid of the trick shocks. We went soft on the suspension. We said we need to make this thing drivable, and I just drove it how it should have been driven. The car was set up proper. It was set up logically, set up what made sense in our head. My brother set it up, and the thing was hooked up. I mean, I was getting on the gas when people were still on the brakes on entry. Like, we were going somewhere. Then qualifying's about to come around, and the class before us has two people blow their engines up catastrophically.
Oil all over the track.
Yep. Crankshaft out the bottom of the engine. Oh, no. Oil all over the track. Oils it down. Qualifying gets canceled. It's the second race of the year. We missed the first one, so we start last because it starts via points.
Oh.
So let's move on to the King Cobra.
God.
Oh, this is the beer that I never tried.
So her friend gave us
the beer you never tried, and you probably never should.
Her friend, real quick, the Magnum, I'm going to give that like a 2.5.
Okay. It's definitely Miller.
What are you saying last? Like a 1 maybe?
I don't know.
Give me something.
I'm saying a 1 because, I mean, it tastes like pennies.
Okay, so we've got the Old English. We gave a 2 each, right?
Yes.
So it's out of 4 total, out of 10.
Okay.
The Mickeys we gave a 3 each. 6 out of 10. And keep in mind, this scale is on a malt liquor scale. All right.
So it's not really a scale.
The Magnum, I gave a 2. You gave a 1.
Yes.
So 3 out of 10. So the Magnum is the worst.
So far.
Okay. We'll try the King Cobra. Oh God. So the King Cobra, one of her friends gave this to producer Kaylee as a graduation present.
21st birthday
21st
present.
birthday present.
I'm sorry. Are you still friends with that person?
You kind of, they're
Yes.
friendly.
Wow.
So we put it in our garage fridge, and it sat
rude.
there for like a year and a half.
Oh, gross.
Longer than that.
And we just ended up throwing it away. Or no, did we give that to somebody?
I think we did.
I think we
Who-
gave that away.
God, you must hate that person.
King Cobra is the Budweiser, I believe, malt liquor. I think Anheuser-Busch makes this. They used to.
You know who I think we gave it to?
No.
Ramon.
I'm pretty sure this is the Anheuser-Busch.
He probably drank it.
It doesn't
too.
say it on here anymore, but I'm pretty damn sure it was Anheuser-Busch, which is Budweiser. 6% alcohol.
Fox News fact checker.
So the Old English is the strongest of them still.
7.2 for the Old English. Yeah. And the rest of them are like 5 something, right?
Yeah, with that in mind, 7.5 for the Old English.
Wow.
I'm giving my hat tip to that one so far because of that. The Mickey's is the best tasting, I think, so far.
Yeah.
But the Old English, as far as beer pong's concerned, I'm going Old English. We still got that Steel Reserve to go. High gravity lager. All right, let's try this
And
out.
Pat, you're correct. It is the Budweiser. Anheuser-Busch
Yes.
makes it.
Right?
Here we go.
I mean,
It's beer.
yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just whatever.
It's actually, that's for me, that's the best one out of the 4 so far.
Yeah, we might have to. You know what we need to do here is we're gonna pick out a couple and then try them again.
Okay.
So right now I'm gonna move.
Right, this so far right now, this one's my top.
We got the Mickey's and the King Cobra forward.
Guys,
Is that
sounds
fair?
Like
That's
you're
fine.
Picking the least worst. Not
Yeah,
the
oh
best.
well, yeah.
I mean,
I mean, we're not drinking
We're-
like an IPA here.
the title of this episode is "Sippin' from the Bottom Shelf." So, at the end of the day, it's still the bottom shelf.
Let's get away from the stories for a second, and we'll get back to that. And then I want to talk more about what you've done car-wise, and I spent more time on the. You know what? I'm gonna finish the racing one up real quick. I'm gonna give you
Okay.
guys the Cliff Notes version of this.
Fine.
Cause fuck it. Orange Show qualifying got canceled. Started last. Made my way up to 3rd at Orange Show. Quarter-mile track. It's impossible to pass. Get hit under yellow. Knocks my transmission line off. I dump transmission fluid all over the track. Get black flagged. We were gonna win that race. Go next week. Let me rewind. Orange Show. I made my way up to 3rd, even though I got help on the exit of turn 2. Climbed up the backstretch wall. Literally did a wheelie down the back straightaway. Came down and broke my right front hub.
Oh wow.
I picked up 2/10 when I did that because when I got on the brakes, the car would turn left because the right front brake no longer worked anymore. So we were killing them when we did that. But I did that with a broken hub on the right front, so the wheel was doing that. There was
Right,
no
yeah.
camber. There was nothing. It was
just flopping around, like, barely still attached.
and it worked. I don't know how we did it. Well, we went to Irwindale. We fixed that, and we blew the motor up at Irwindale. It was running on 7. And that was it. I believe Irwindale was the first and only race that Kaylee went to, I think, and we ran atrociously on 7 cylinders. I mean, I was running flat out.
And you stuck around.
Yeah.
I was able to drive.
That's how much I love him.
I was able to drive flat out at Irwindale, which half-mile high bank track relatively. Leaders lapped me, and I would close up on them into the corners, and then again on the straightaway, they just leave me. And I was like, "Fuck! If I had some horsepower."
Yeah. Well, I mean, 7 of 8. That's
Yeah.
gonna do it.
Dude bought it from us. They ran at the back, sold it, bought a different truck, ran mid-pack. That truck, I don't know where that truck is anymore.
Yeah. It seemed like that truck was kind of cursed.
It was shitty. It was truck number 3 as far as the speed truck chassis are concerned. It was the 3rd one built. It was very different than the new ones.
They were trying to like improve stuff,
Yeah.
but it didn't
I still believe
improve
that
anything.
truck could work. I think if we if we had started with where we ended, we would have been a hard team to beat, and things would have been different. We had some sponsors pull out on us even after they were committed. It was like contract signing time, and they pulled out. Just you know, If I could do it again, I would have gone drag racing.
There you go.
Fact of it is, that's what I would have done, because we had a friend of the family who was an NHRA Top Fuel Funny Car driver, who I want to get on the episode at some point. I don't want to drop names at the moment on it.
Let's wait until it's not 106.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till the winter time. He's a very good guy, and I feel like if I were a drag racer, he probably would have been able to. He always wanted to help me.
Right.
He was always trying to get me in touch with the right people.
Super cool guy. I've met him a couple times.
He's the best.
Yeah.
He really, really did a lot good by me, and but he could only help so much. He's in the drag racing.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know,
It's
and
a completely different world.
hindsight, I would have gotten a junior dragster, and then if I ever felt the need, I could have then transitioned to circle track racing or something. And that's what, if my kids ever want to go racing, it's going to be, if you want to make a career out of this, we're going to go, it sounds dumb, but it's the truth, the path of least resistance. Get you to the top of whatever form of racing it is we can get you to the top of, and then transition. It's
Exactly.
easier. It's easier. You know, whether that be off-road or motocross or global, rally or whatever.
I'm
Whatever it is.
hoping my son will get the car bug.
Well, I mean, he sticks his tongue on already, so that's cool.
So yeah, he's,
You know.
he's halfway there.
And then to put a little bow on that, once we got out of the speed truck, I didn't have any money, so I was doing what I could afford, which I found indoor karting. I found Droma 1. Found that the cars are ridiculously easy to drive, but they're ridiculously hard to drive fast, and the competition level is insane.
Well, I mean, part of that was the fact that you were racing on a garage floor.
Yep. I learned the thing that I've always said since then is it's not what you're driving, it's who you're driving against.
Mm-hmm.
It's your competition is what makes it fun, and that is what I found in sport karting. And you ain't ever gonna get famous sport karting, and ain't nobody gonna give a shit what you can accomplish in it, because there are people out there that think everything karting is Family Fun Center.
Exactly.
And I'll tell people till they're blue in the face, I will pay for you to come race with me at Cal Speed if you can beat me.
If you've done any kind of those, even the indoor places, it's so much different than Family Fun Center.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I mean,
even like, I hate to say it, but like K1, like that's still...
K1's still pretty difficult.
It's still light years above.
Go with somebody who's good,
Yeah.
and it's hard. I mean, I'll tell people till they're blue in the face, if you want to go racing with me at K1 or at Cal Speed, if you beat me, I will pay for you.
Yeah.
And that's anything. If you want to go to the Super Series, and this is caveat here, guys, it's if you haven't raced at this stuff before.
I'll do it.
I don't want friggin', one of you I don't want Taylor listening to this and be like, all right, I'll beat you.
I'll drive.
I'm a driver.
I'll fly. I'm pilot.
So that's how I got to where I'm at now. So whatever, fuck that. So
There's your story.
there's me. There's more to me as a car person than that, but that's me as a racing person. There's it in the 45 minutes or whatever it's been.
Yep. What is the time that we've been, by the way?
Probably can base-
I don't know,
It
but-
says on the screen right there on the camera.
On the camera, yeah.
In the middle, top middle.
Tell me.
You guys are at 2 hours and 6 minutes.
That's not
No,
possible.
that's the time left on the card in the middle of the screen, on the top.
Yeah, 49:35.
All right.
All right, we got like half hour.
There's no way we've been at this for 3 hours.
Right. And that's the thing is, if we keep going, this could become a two-parter. We'll have 3 in the
never
bank.
know.
I'm just down to just keep it going. Whatever.
Jesus.
Keep it going until we're.
I mean, we
fun.
have
Pat,
another
with your
4.
racing history, you did leave out the bike.
That's
barely
not,
counts.
That's not really racing. I guess you did.
I
do
raced
some
one.
racing.
I raced one supermoto race on my street legal Cowie KLX 250. And that video's on YouTube, and maybe we'll link to it in the description. But my first lap is fucking brilliant on that because I'm outpowered by a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I have 19 horsepower in my bike. I'm racing against DRZ 400s, and there's some dudes on like KTM 650s and shit.
Oh, those things are beasts.
They're like
man.
running like 50 horsepower.
Yeah, they're monsters.
I passed like 9 people in my first lap, and then they just one by one just get me back, little by little. But it was a blast. I didn't crash. There's a lot. That video is fun because like 8 people, including my brother, crashed right in front of me.
Right.
There's people. It's just Armageddon on
I'm
motorcycles.
shocked too, especially on a street legal bike because it's so top heavy.
I was having fun. I was digging. I'm actually decent on the asphalt on that bike, and the dirt I'm not good.
I hate your bike.
Yeah, I know.
But I mean, I'm a dirt guy. But
yeah, I mean,
jumping from my bike, which is a motocross bike that's like purpose built for dirt tracks and that kind of stuff, low center of gravity and all that stuff, onto your bike, it's just like, because it's a steel gas tank, so the center of gravity is so much higher on it. Yeah. I feel like I'm gonna fall over every second.
And we're gonna go plastic at some point because I want the extra capacity.
Yeah,
so
get the IMS double
I'm gonna cool
desert
these.
tank and
Yep. They're like spend like $350.
But it's totally worth it.
I
You get
know.
an extra like gallon and a half.
I know. I have a 2-gallon tank on my bike.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cool it back down. Well, King Cobra and Mickey's are in the next round for sure.
Damn it.
We got the Steel Reserve left here. We're gonna get to that in a sec.
The homeless guy, one of the homeless guys at the Vaughn's I used to work at when I was in high school. This was his drink of choice.
Yeah, was the one. Yeah,
That's the one.
This is the one you've been recommending since we started this idea.
Dollar is like $1.38 or something like that for a 40 of Steel Reserve.
That's a friggin' steal, man.
And every night he'd roll into the Vaughn's and pick one up.
That's every night. Wow.
Yep.
See you later, beer girl Graham. He's got to go to his kickball game. So
Have fun with the kickball.
you got to fill up the beer girl one more time. All right. If there's ever an episode where we should have periscoped, it's probably this one.
Probably. God,
Get people to come over here. Hey, he didn't tip it. That's not my fault.
it's still all foam. All foam.
It's amazing how I can do that.
How are you so good at pouring beer so bad?
All right. So we you own some cars in your day.
A few. Not as many, not anywhere close to as many as you. You're at
No.
like 27 or some
Something like that.
nonsense like that.
So you've got your Dakota, which is your daily driver.
I have had my Dakota. We bought
your first
that car
car.
new in 2003.
How many miles
It's
are
an
on it?
04 model year.
Yeah.
I have 128,000 and some change.
And it's been reliable, right? The headliner's been a
Absolutely.
disaster.
Yep. The only thing that has ever gone wrong on that truck is my fuel pumps. I've gone through 2 fuel pumps.
Tell us a story about how beans ended up on your headliner.
God. All right. So, a buddy of mine and I decided we wanted to go in on a Baja Bug,
Right.
which was a horrible idea.
Uh-huh.
So we found one online, and it was promising. Like, it was actually a decent bug. I didn't have any resources to do anything with it. It was $500. Motor all set. It needed to be wired, and that's it. And it would have ran. Interior was shot, so it needed interior. That bad, huh?
Let's rewind. Let's cheers.
Oh God. Oh my God.
This is no question.
That's by far the worst.
The worst
This
beer.
is a 0.
This is the worst beer I've ever had in my life.
This is a 0 out of 10.
Oh my god.
That's horrid.
So this is the steel the Steel Reserve that we're drinking. It has the best label.
It does.
The
like,
label is really good. Wow, what's the percentage on this? I hope it's really high.
8.1.
That's why.
Ugh.
Wow. This is bad.
It's atrocious.
Look at the back of the label even has a logo on it.
Mm-hmm.
They probably won't be able to see that, but it's there.
No, they won't be able to see it. It tastes. God, I don't even know how to describe the taste.
Let's try it. Let's try.
It tastes like.
Fuck.
It tastes like it was filtered through an old sock into a used ashtray
Right. And then, God.
and then
Jesus
bottled.
Fucking Christ.
It's bad. It's really bad.
It has the most flavor.
It has a flavor.
It has the most of a flavor. Oh, it makes me want to punch myself. Damn.
Wow.
I got a couple my wind coming up.
Yeah.
So you owned the Dakota, which is your first car.
All right. The bean story. We were in the middle of the bean story.
Right, the bean story.
So, okay, my buddy and I decided we were going to go buy a Baja Bug, and we found one online for $500.
Mwah. Uh-huh.
It had a tow bar and everything. Like, it was ready to go.
Yeah.
Problem was, it was in Sacramento.
Was it really?
Yes.
That black one, you went all the way to Sacramento to get?
Sacramento.
I went to Sacramento for my Z car.
My buddy and I cannonballed in my Dakota to Sacramento on a Friday night.
Oh my God.
and the beans. So where the beans came in, which is, my God. This guy and I are no longer friends for other reasons.
Yeah,
but,
we won't get into that.
so we stopped at a grocery store, and they had like some barbecue thing going on where they had like barbecue chicken and baked beans.
And beans, yeah.
So we picked up lunch, and as he was eating his beans in the passenger seat of my truck while
Your girl's back.
while we were driving,
Uh-huh.
and drinking a Monster, he proceeds to have like the worst allergy attack I've ever seen in my life.
No, that's Matt's, I think.
That's mine.
Hi, beer girl.
Hi, beer girl.
He forgot his sunglasses.
And
He had an allergy attack whilst eating beans.
whilst eating beans and drinking Monster at the same time. So it started out, he like tilted his head back and sneezed this just streak of beans and Monster, starting from my headliner down onto the windshield, A-pillar, and the dash. And this was 2006?
Yeah.
2005 or 2006.
Yeah.
And I could never get it off.
Yeah, the beans are still there in the
They're
headliner.
still there. Still there.
So that's my favorite thing about your truck. The headliner is basically falling off, and you got to save that little portion of the headliner and put it onto the new headliner when you get it installed.
Well, a majority of it is actually on the sun visor.
Oh, cool. Then just keep that.
So I'm going to keep the sun visor.
So you've owned your truck. You had a 64 Dart?
62.
62
Dodge Dart 440, four-door with a 318 poly with
Yeah.
a push-button shifter.
So it's the ugly one.
Oh, atrocious.
It's
the
ugliest.
worst-looking car on the planet,
Right.
but it was so cool.
And it was a solid car, though. It didn't have any rust.
absolutely. No, it
The
was
interior
rock
was
solid.
all original, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the back seat and the headliner were in drastic need of replacement because the back windshield, the seal leaked.
Yeah.
So when it rained, water got onto the back end of the headliner and dripped onto the seat. So the seat was all rotten and nasty. But
Yeah.
the front seats were solid. There was no carpet in it when I bought it.
And it was a bench front seat car, if I recall.
Bench front seat with a fold down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
and
far as cruisers are concerned, it doesn't get a whole lot better.
oh yeah, and I think one of the coolest features of that car, besides the push button shifter, because that was awesome, was the fact that there was no B pillar. So you rolled the four windows down, and it was just completely open.
Mm-hmm.
It was really neat. I don't know. It felt really cool driving it around with all four windows down.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a non-post car.
It sounded mean.
Right. Well, I mean, they were relatively...
Illegitimately mean, though, because it had a dinner plate size rust hole in the bottom of the muffler.
Well, I mean, and they were a fairly decently high output car. They're relatively light for what they were, four-door. I think they're like 3,400 pounds. There wasn't a whole lot to those cars.
It was a long car.
Yeah, but...
There was a
that's
lot
back
of
when the
car.
Dart was a mid-size car, not a compact.
It was a long... Like, it would not have fit in your garage.
It wasn't longer than the Cordoba.
Absolutely it was.
I don't think so. But it was probably making 280 horsepower or so, or at least it was when it was new.
Yeah.
The 318 Poly was a decent engine. It was kind of Hemi-esque. It was a polysphere or something, combustion chamber instead of a hemisphere.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a good, it's kind of the precursor to the wedge engine, I guess.
Yeah.
My brother would probably listen to me like, what? But it was a
I
good...
mean, it had a 2-barrel carb on it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Certainly-
nothing super impressive, but it wasn't meant to be impressive. It was meant to be a cruiser.
No, that's the deal is that had you kept the car longer...
I kick myself every day for selling that car.
Yeah. I mean, had you kept it, I mean, you put a 4-barrel intake on it, a mild cam and headers, and you're probably looking at a 350 horsepower engine.
Easily. Yeah. I mean, nothing ever went wrong with that car. It needed some mild electrical work and
Yeah.
paint and interior. It was all just show stuff that it needed.
So you need
Really?
So you had that. You have your 72 MG midget
Yes, 72 MG midget.
with the 1275. So it has a bigger engine. It doesn't have the 850 or whatever it is.
It's 945. There's 4 engines that came in the midgets,
We got another beer girl. Come on in, Ramon.
and I
Jesse.
have the third largest.
So we got more people cruising by on their bikes. This is the way the Growler Garage barbecue deal is. So just to catch you guys in, side note, I want to trade you this window banger for your deal if you need this.
I'm down.
There it is.
Sweet.
Growler Garage has AC.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Yay!
So you guys caught us in the middle of our malt liquor episode.
We're also a little bit drunk.
You guys want to have some malt liquor? You can have the ones that didn't make it to the second round of eliminations.
How does this work? Do you just sit
No, I'm going to hand you some beer.
No, you're gonna sit here.
You're gonna sit on the couch.
Yeah, you guys can sit on the couch.
Okay, great.
Here, have a Magnum.
Oh, no.
Feel free to walk and grab it. There you go. That's all you guys. Jesse, do you want a King Cobra?
A King Cobra. Oh my goodness.
Wait, was it
God, you know,
It was the
sounds like I
Mickey.
need to
Oh no
be a
no.
little bit much-
Sorry, no. You get an Old English. You get an Old English.
Old English?
It is worse. These are the ones that didn't make it through. You guys can also have a Steel Reserve.
I don't think I want that.
You don't want it.
You don't.
So to fill the people in that are listening to this is a Sunday afternoon. We're filming this, and
Typically, we record on Wednesday nights.
we didn't. When we record on Wednesdays, we decided I'm gonna let the secret out. We record 2 episodes back to back normally.
Yes.
So the Joe one you guys just watched last week, literally Joe just went home, like half an hour ago. So this episode is designed to be completely off the rails. We don't give a shit. This
That's right.
is us having a good time. This is my house on a Sunday
Although our good time is severely being taken away from by that.
by the Steel Reserve. Yeah. So Ramon and Jesse are my neighbors. They're my friends since high school. So they cruise by on occasion, and feel free to chime in on the microphone over there if you have anything witty to say. Don't be dumb. This is R-rated, so you can say fuck and damn and things like that.
The best thing I've drank so far is Jesse's Malibu drink.
I bet.
I don't doubt it.
We can turn this into a party. Like I said, we're going to keep this going as long as we're having fun. If it becomes a 2-parter, great. Like, it saves us work. So if you want to go grab your Malibu and some of your pineapple juice, let's make this a party. Like,
Caribou.
we'll pull up the chairs.
I'm too lazy.
Well, I'm just saying. We got another microphone we can whip out. Okay, so you had the mid.
I have the midget. So the midget came with 4 motors.
Yeah.
It was a 948 cc or something like that.
Yeah.
A 10 something, 10 and some change. The 1275, which is the one I have, and then a 1500.
But the 1500 only came in later ones.
Correct.
The heavier
the
cars.
1500 started, I believe, in the 74 and later cars.
Right, and it was mostly in the MGB, if I recall. The midget had the 1500, but it,
Only for a couple years.
you got
Yeah.
the right year because you had the
The
1275.
1275 is the motor to have. That's
you-
the most go fast parts that exist are for the 1275.
And you have the car that has the bumpers that aren't stupid.
Yes.
They're good. Like, you have like legitimately good looking midget. It's just,
Yeah, it's actually a really cool looking car.
it looks like a miniature. It's a British car. It looks like a miniature Cobra. you
Yeah,
know?
if you slice the bumpers off of that thing, it looks like a Cobra. It has the same big old mouth on the front.
Yep. And we got the car on our scales. We were racing the speed truck when you got that, so we had.
1,600 pounds wet with the driver.
Yep. I mean, think about that car if you had 100 horsepower. Just 100. Just 100 horsepower.
Yeah, from the factory, I forget the exact figure. I believe 85.
I think
No,
it's up to
65.
65.
65. It's 85 if you put the $3,000 supercharger on it.
Yeah. Can I get your guys' thoughts on the malt liquors you're drinking?
We're just choosing our course.
It's actually, you know what? Now I actually understand why bums drink this. It's actually really delicious.
Oh, what? You like it? Which one are you drinking?
It's the Magnum.
The Magnum.
40.
Okay, he's drinking the Miller.
Giving it a chance.
If you guys couldn't hear him, he said that he understands why bums drink this because it is delicious. And I think he's fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, it's delicious for $1 and some change.
Here's the deal, Ramon, is that when we play beer pong, we need to switch to these because the alcohol content is like 8%.
It's ridiculous.
We need to, and it's cheaper than Coors Light. Like, we need to switch to this for beer pong.
And, to be honest with you, it doesn't look as trash as drinking Mickey's. So.
Mickey's made it to the second round.
Oh my goodness.
This is one of our favorite beers.
Oh god.
It's so good.
It's much better, actually.
So the Steel Reserve did not make it, so we're gonna get rid of that. If you guys want to grab that, feel free. We won't get into the other cars. Let's just name them though. You had a Corolla, right? You now have a Camry, which is your wife's car, kind of your daily driver.
We got 2013 Camry. We had
the
a
NASCAR.
99 Honda Civic. We had a 99 Toyota Corolla. I had the 65 Bug.
It was a 65, so it was the small rear window.
Yep.
Wow.
When did you have that?
I had it for like 6 months.
It was a black one. It never really ran.
It did not run ever.
Oh.
The motor turned, but that's as far as it went. I didn't have the time or resources to get it running.
So you've had about 7 cars, right? Dakota, Dart, Midget, Corolla, Camry, Civic. Right? Am I missing anything?
That's
Bug,
6.
7.
There you go.
7, yeah. 7.
Okay. Let's start. All right. My first car was a 99 Ford Mustang V6 with a stick shift. Fun car. Burnout machine. plenty of horsepower to get those 215 tires spitting.
Yep.
99 Ford Mustang. Then I got an 04 Ford Ranger, which we bought new. Ford had a special, and we bought the car cheap. I had the 4-liter V6, which was now is available in the Mustang. It was better than the Boat Anchor 3.5 that they had at the time, or whatever it was.
That was actually a pretty cool truck.
Great. That, honestly, is the truck. I missed that car more than most of my other cars because it was fun. It was a truck. It had the interior, if you remember, was the edge, so it didn't have carpet.
Yep.
It did the interior
rubber
that
floors.
you could wash out the whole interior, including the seats.
Yep.
Super, super cool. So I had that. All right. Well, now this is when things start getting tricky.
It gets a little foggy.
So these probably won't be in order. That's 2. I had a 2004 Ford Focus. I'm not going to get into the specifics of that car. Lemon law lawsuit, 2 blown motors. I had that 71 Ford Ranchero with a 5-liter out of a Mustang, a roller motor out of a Mustang. Loved that car. Got rid of it because somebody from Germany offered me more money than I could handle. So I
It would be
sold it
dumb
for
for you not to sell it.
yeah, like $6,000. It was a salvage title car. He doesn't care because he lives in Germany.
There you go. It doesn't count.
So I sold it for a profit. Loved. It was a great car though. That was a fun car. Had the Dan Gurney Western wheels on it or whatever.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool Ranchero.
Love that Ranchero.
Yeah.
So 71 Ranchero, 95 Ford Thunderbird, which
The Thunder Chicken.
with the 4.6 liter overhead cam V8.
I'm surprised that car survived.
I was hard on that car.
Yeah.
My brother will say this car wasn't mine, but it was 95 Jeep Cherokee, 2-door with a 4-liter inline 6. That's the car that I was driving through the canyon and the airbag went off on me. I had bottomed it out about 5 minutes prior. And I think
the airbag sensor.
I think the airbag sensor got knocked out and then it hit something.
It probably shorted out or it smacked something. Yeah.
So I had that, and then I had an 84 Dodge Van, which is actually what I was driving when I met Kaylee. Again, my brother will say that wasn't mine. That's the car that I got Kaylee to like me with somehow.
That van was impressive, to say the least.
The van was great. It was a full-size Dodge van, a fold-down bed in the back.
Yep.
Couch in the middle.
Did it have mood lighting?
No, yeah, it did.
Oh, it did? It did have the mood lighting.
It had wooden sides, carpet that went halfway up the walls, and I put a TV in it and 2 12-inch subs.
Yep.
We played Xbox in that. We would open up the rear doors going down the freeway and just play video games.
I remember you brought that car to my parents' house once.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, what the hell is that in my
I had
driveway?
moon discs on it, blue laser stripes. It was strong.
Don't bring that car back.
84 Nissan 300ZX that I sold to your dad.
He drove that for a while.
Yeah, great car. That one I drove to San Jose to get. It was a very good car.
Yeah, that was a solid car. Yeah, he traded it in for a Infiniti G37S.
Yep.
But yeah, he drove that for 4 years.
How many is that?
70. I'm up to 9 right now. 74 Chevy Chevelle Laguna S3, which was the SS version of in 70. They got rid of the SS moniker in 73. 73 was the last year of it. I had a 74. So Laguna S3, the heavy Chevy as they call it, had a 400 cubic inch small block. Built. That was the most built car I've ever had in my life. It was probably 500 horsepower.
I think it was nuts.
It was fast.
It was scary.
I put it in. I put avgas in it one time so I could run the advance to the full amount, and it was fast.
Yeah, that car. That is the only car I've ever ridden with you in that I've legitimately been like, okay, this is too much.
If I had Posy in that car was deep in the 12s.
Oh yeah,
in the quarter.
I think it was quick.
I raced a 2000
when it ran.
Right. I raced a 2003 911 Turbo on the freeway. And just killed it.
Really?
Like it wasn't close.
Wow.
It was 996.
I would think that it would have been the other way around since you're already rolling.
From a dig, I didn't have a shot because I didn't have Posy.
Yeah.
My car ran in the top end good. Like I beat this car. We went from about a 90 mile an hour roll. So we were already going, and I pulled up to 155.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I had him by about 8 or 9 car lengths at that point. That thing pulled hard.
Wow.
Caesar, now the new one, the guy who bought it from me, probably not even alive anymore. What?
Keep going.
I am. I'm talking about my Chevelle.
She's overproducing the show.
I know. So that's 10. 71 Porsche 914. Car I missed the most. There's more.
Technically, there was another 914, wasn't there?
There was an orange 914 that I used as a parts car.
Yep.
Then I have my Cordoba. I had my white Focus, my 2013 Ford Focus SE.
Your black Focus.
I have my black 2014 Focus ST. I had my Passat. I'm up to now, what is that, 16?
Yep.
Your wagon.
My wagon wasn't mine.
It wasn't?
Wagon's
The
my dad's.
Buick?
Oh, the Buick Roadmaster.
Yeah.
Okay, the 95 Buick Roadmaster with the LT1. There's that. Just
Such a grandma car.
Love that car. Yeah. 350 cubic inches of maximum horsepower. Exploding on the highway like slugs from a 45.
Maximum something.
Tiguan, does that count? Her Tiguan? Whatever, we'll leave it off.
Yeah. Technically it counts.
Yeah, well, you count your Camry, so yeah. So, so that's 18.
Yep. There's got to be more.
Yeah, we're missing a lot here.
The other Mustang. The one you sold to Will.
Oh, right, the 84 Mustang Turbo GT.
That's 19.
Did you say your Jeep?
Yeah, I said my
said
Jeep.
the Jeep.
Said the Jeep. I had more old cars than this, I feel like, but...
You didn't have a truck besides the Ranger, did you?
Yes.
Yeah.
68 Ford F100 with a 460 big block. With a locker rear end. I think it was Posi, but it was broken, so it was just a locker. With like 225 rear tires that were worn out, and I had 500 foot-pounds of torque. So like,
Smoke all day.
oh man, like it was bad. You know, no power steering, so wheels like that big, so you're like, like sailing the boat. That's 20.
Yep. I still feel there's more.
No, there's more for sure.
The Mustang, the race car doesn't count as a
Nah, I
car,
wouldn't
does it?
count
No.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few.
There's a lot.
There's been a few for sure.
Seems like every day or every week, Pat has a different car.
It's a problem. It's a problem.
Yeah.
So I think I've been around 20 cars or so is where I'm at right now. And next, I think we're gonna get like a Myers-Manx or something.
There you go.
Is probably what's gonna be
Those
next.
are fun.
Yeah,
Those are really fun in the dirt.
that's the plan. We want a kind of a dual sport kind of deal, on-road,
Super
off-road.
fun.
Let's move on to round 2 of our malt liquor, huh?
Oh, Jesus.
Somebody take the Steel Reserve from us.
and blow it up.
She's gonna replace it.
You can get in front of the camera. It's all right. You can like pose a little bit.
Not on the camera there.
I'm just drinking my Old English.
Steel Reserve is so bad.
It's real bad. One for the homies.
For the homies.
The dogs are gonna lick that, you know.
That's fine. They're gonna have a hell of a time.
All right, so for the finals, we've got Mickey's versus King Cobra.
Oh god.
How did we end up here? I don't know. But these were the two best ones that we thought we had.
This show's taken a turn that I didn't expect. And I mean, we're only at episode 7.
I know it's bad.
We're already drinking malt liquor.
We can wash it down. We still have some bootleggers.
That's fine.
Afterwards.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
There is. All right, we didn't rate the Steel Reserve. I was gonna give it a 0.
Yeah, 0.
0
For sure,
okay,
0.
So it's a 0.
Yeah.
The Mickey's so far. Well, we'll re-rate these.
Okay.
So the Steel Reserve is last. The Magnum we scored a 3, I believe. And the
No,
Old
English was 3.
Yeah,
Magnum was 2.
was 2. Okay.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna go back and post and be like, dang it was the other way around.
probably. So the Old English is, or Steel Reserve is last at 0.
Absolutely.
The Old English is next at, I believe, 2. I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure I gave that a 2.
That's right. It was a 3, and then we downgraded it.
So it's a 4 total.
Yep.
And the Magnum, I gave
A 6. Well,
I gave 3. Yeah,
So
3 and
it's a
3 and 6. Yeah. So Magnum is podium, 3rd place.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not a bad malt liquor. I think we can agree there.
If you're gonna do it,
If you're gonna do it, you could do worse than a
not bad,
Magnum.
yeah.
I gotta say, Jesse's standing there just like pounding like a malt liquor.
The Old English.
Right? Doesn't kinda.
They all taste the same to me.
The Steel Reserve does not taste the same. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was Steel Reserve she's drinking? No, you're wrong.
Yo, you're dead wrong. Like,
I was-
it's so bad.
I was gonna say like her standing there just like chugging the malt liquor. I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, good for Ramon. Like that was kind of cool. Like, tank top,
Steel-
short
no, that
shorts,
is just-
pounding a malt liquor. Like, that's cool. If you wanted to stand in front of the camera and do that, we'll probably get a lot more viewers. We'll get Kaylee to do it too. They just
I
start
need to
having a
put some
beer
makeup
fight.
I feel like we can chug the Malibu.
I gotta
There you
say,
go. You guys can have a beer fight. Next thing you know,
Fight, yeah.
I'll let
Hey,
the
one thing
imagination.
leads to another.
So here we go. The finals. We're crowning the malt liquor champion of Growler Garage
That's right.
now. It's between Mickey's and King Cobra. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Here it is. For the finals, we're gonna start with the Mickey's.
Whatever. Let's Still all foam. I don't know how you do that. How do you do it?
I don't know how I do it. So here's what we're gonna do for this one. We're each gonna cheers it. We're gonna drink it, and we're gonna hold a number up without really looking at each other. And then we're gonna so that way it's impartial. Number 1 to 5.
1 to 5.
1 to 5. It's irrelevant to the other ones. These two have made it through the next round, so it doesn't matter.
I gotta wait till mine foams down a little bit.
Mine's fine.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Yeah. So
Give us a minute for.
what are we up to on the time on that camcorder now?
Top middle.
140.
All right.
All right.
Here's what we're gonna do.
140. Wow.
That's long. So if you want to see,
Everybody's tuned out by this point.
yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to find a cutting point earlier in this episode and make it 2.
Yep.
I was gonna cut it right here, but an hour 40 is too far into
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
So we're gonna have to cut this somewhere in the middle. So, shit, how are we gonna do this?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Keep in mind, we did start it a few minutes early because of we wanted to start it a little early. Remember, we were doing outtakes and stuff.
Right. Yes. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna cut it here. So if you want to see the finals of our malt liquor episode, tune in next week. Well, we're gonna have that. This is now a 2-parter.
The wheels. The wheels are gone. The wheels are.
We're
off
starting
the
with the
bus.
Mickeys. If you want to see it, tune in next week. Thank you for tuning in Growler Garage. Check out growlergarage.net for t-shirts, beer glasses, license plate frames, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next week. Hit that subscribe button, hit that share button. Thanks for joining in. Tell your friends about us. We're having a good time with this.
Yeah, buddy.
And next week, when you see it, we'll be drinking these. We're going to continue getting drunk, though. So
Can't wait.
we'll see you in just a week's time.
Right on.